One hard truth I know now is that people are going to doubt your ability, your authority as a medical doctor. People are literally going to doubt your training as a medical doctor, as a new doctor in a new environment, or generally as a new doctor. When we finally did our induction and everybody went to do their housemanship and everything, and people were asking, where did you train? Where did you train? When your chiefs ask you, where did you train? And maybe you don't want them to know where you're coming from, you literally just tell them, just give a very vague response and all of that. But then that alone also gave me the idea that they don't trust the training of a lot of schools. Yeah, so sometimes when you tell them, let me not call this school, but it was always a big buzz, especially for those of you that did your house job in Federal Medical Center, Umaya. I'm sure you must have come across it. They're asking you where you trained and all of that. And it's usually a big issue, literally. But we are talking more than that, yeah. When you finally present yourself to the nurses in the ward, when you present yourself to the matrons and the people you work with, or stuff like that, or you give an order for a particular medication to be dispensed to a patient, or you tell them this is how you want the medication to be given and all of that. And yeah, they sometimes just look at you like, who is this person telling me this? I don't know if it's the same for guys as well, guys that are new doctors, or yeah, I don't know, but I've had this experience of I've had this happen to me a number of times. And I want you to know that is a common thing. I've also had a lot of people also go through the same phase, literally. Maybe they are not necessarily new doctors now. Maybe they just find themselves in a new environment, or they just began working in in a new place now. The people around there, they're not going to look at you like you're one know-it-all person. They are going to be looking at you with one side eye first of all in your first couple of days working in that place, and be like, are you sure this person knows what he's doing? Or are you sure this person is actually a doctor? Sometimes they might ask you some silly questions. I don't mean silly now. Some questions that the answers are actually obvious, or some questions that they know the answers to. They'll just ask you this question and you'll be like, okay, and give your reply and all of that. And over time, I know that they will come to trust your ability as a doctor over time. But I know that this places you as a doctor in a very uncomfortable situation. When I first started working where I'm working now as a medical officer, yeah, I had this same experience, and it was coming from the nurses. I met with the matron when I first came. We spoke. I got to find out how things were done in the hospital and all of that. And yeah, we got off on a very good foot. Yeah, she never gave me that vibe actually, but the other nurses, sometimes they will probably just ask me one or two questions, and I'll be like, what? Are you trying to test me? Or are you really sure you don't know the answer to this and all of that? And well, over time, they got to have trust in me. They got to have faith in me. I wasn't really bothered about it, honestly, but it's just a very silent observation I made. And it took me back to my days as a house officer as well. I know that at that point you were in training, and yeah, you don't know a lot of things, but the matrons did not look at me like somebody that did not know stuff and did not want to know stuff. We wanting to know that you don't know things, and then it's another thing for you to act ignorant about it. And I don't think I was ever ignorant about the fact that I didn't know shit. Like whenever it came down to that, I know I always went to them, or I would always go to them to like clarify some things up, but not when whatever it is I'm telling them, or not when my, should I say, order or whatever it is I need them to do goes against the medical ethics, or goes against the procedure for caring for a particular patient, if you get what I mean. You have to know what to do for your patient, literally. But then there are some minute things, some other things around the corner. If you're a medical doctor watching this, I'm sure you would relate. Yeah, that probably you don't have enough experience for yet. And one thing I need you to know as a doctor, as a medical doctor in that situation, is that you need to be calm despite it. You need to be calm. You don't need to play into their games. Sometimes these nurses, I don't want to, it's not a war, honestly. It's not a war. It's just my experience. And I know that a lot of other medical doctors out there have also undergone this same situation or have also had this same experience as well. So it's no need for you to fret, honestly. Whenever you are faced with this kind of situation, or whenever you come to a particular place where they act like they don't trust you or they are trying to question your training or authority as a doctor, no need to fret. So I just need you to know a couple things here. That number one, it is not they are not they are not distrusting you as a person. It is not personal. If you get what I mean, it is not personal. Don't take it personal. They are not against you as a person. Sometimes their licenses are also on the line. So whenever they want to carry out things or do other things for their patients, they need to be sure that okay, this thing that I'm about to do for this patient, this is what the doctor meant when he said this. And some other times too, some matrons they are actually out to teach you. Honestly, like that's one thing you have to know, that these people are not against you, they're not your enemies. Everything that happens in a medical setting, everything that happens in the hospital, I hope to assume is all for the betterment of the patients. Like whatever plan you're carrying out, whatever thing you want to do is for the patient. Yeah. So everything they want to do is for the betterment of the patient. So don't take it personal. Another thing I need you to know too is that the situations can also be reversed as well. So you need to employ a carpenter to repair something in your home, and yeah, the person claims to be a carpenter. You don't just give him a go ahead and say, okay, this is what I need you to do, this is what I need you to do, and have complete faith in them. It usually don't happen like that. Sometimes you go back to check, is this okay, is this person really who he or she claims to be? What kind of work has he done in the past? Why should I really trust him and all of that? I'm not saying that it is right that they are doing or acting out the way they are. Sometimes they can't just help it. You're new to the environment and all of that. But then yeah, it's required of you to know that with time, over time, you get to gain their trust. You get to gain like their respect, literally. It is not served, it's earned, honestly. And mind you, it doesn't take only one particular event for them to fully trust you. It takes a series of events. You're caring for patients, you're giving these orders, you're writing down these directives and all of that. And yeah, they need to trust those directives. So knowing that these things are not personal, they are not directed at you as a person, but or they are just things you cannot be able to avoid in a new setting. You have to know ways to be able to combat this. You have to know ways because you need to trust one another for you to be able to work together. Yeah. So I will tell you 5 things now that I feel helped me to be able to navigate this situation at my new place of work. Now, the first thing I need you to know is that confidence comes from preparation. You have to be confident in yourself first as a doctor. Yeah, if you're not confident in yourself as a doctor, I don't think you can expect other people to be confident in you in your profession, if you get what I mean. Yeah. So you've gone through the training, you've worked your ass off to be where you are right now. And it didn't come easy for you, honestly. And being a doctor and understanding what it takes or the daily training that you go through in order to be where you are, you have to have built a certain level of confidence within the course of your training to be where you are. So yes, confidence comes from a place of preparation. If you're sure of yourself that you did those training yourself, if you're sure of yourself, you passed your exams yourself and you did house job, and yeah, you should know that at least you're able to assert or give a certain level of care to any patient and to know when to refer if the need arises. Another thing I need you to know, yeah, is that you're always in training. You're always in training. Yeah, I think someone said that for you to know that you're a doctor, yeah, is when you become a consultant. I know that that is wrong in so many instances, literally. But then even consultants still know that there are some areas that they don't know about. Do you get? So yeah, they get to ask their colleagues, they get to discuss about patients. That's why they get to send consults and all of that. Yeah. So yes, know that as a doctor, as a young doctor, or as any doctor, yeah, you're still on that training. I know that you have a certain level of experience and all of that, but there are some things that can be above you. Definitely. In managing patients as a new doctor in a new environment, or generally as a new doctor, you have to know where your limit is. You have to know when to refer. You have to know when to stop and ask questions. And you have to ask those questions early. And this is why there are seniors in every parastatal, literally. This is why you have your chiefs. This is why you have your regis, your senior regis. This is why you have consultants and all of that. So, in your place of work and in your place of work, if you feel like there are some things you need to ask questions about, if you feel like there are some things you need to know, do well to ask questions. And most of the time, or some of the time, there are some matrons that have stayed in those places for very long, yeah, and you feel like maybe they don't know stuff. Trust me, they know even more than you do. They've seen these things done over and over again. They've been matrons for like 20 years. They've been nurses for a very long period of time. So yes, you should be comfortable enough to ask them questions. You should be honest with yourself enough to know this is the limit I can go to. Okay, I need some clarification with this. And it is never also too late to turn to your books. Regis read all the time. So you too should know that you need to compound, or you need to improve your knowledge, and yeah, improve your knowledge in managing patients all the time. You need to improve your skill, you need to improve your knowledge as well. So yes, know when to stop and ask questions, and know who to ask those questions to. Now, another thing I need you to know in this situation is that you need to communicate clearly. Now, sometimes what gives up the idea that you are not confident in yourself, and thereby making other people not confident in you, or your work colleagues not confident in you, might be the way you communicate things. Sometimes you communicate things like you're not so sure, do this, let's do, should we do this, like the kind of way you frame your directives and all of that can show that you're not really confident in what you do. And if you know that this information or this knowledge you have is correct, then you should be able to communicate clearly what you need done for a patient. And mind you, communication is key. Whether it's communication that let's do this for this patient, or his communication that you need this particular patient referred, and communicates the urgency of the care. If a particular patient comes to the emergency room, yeah, and maybe the nurses are a bit slack about it and all of that, you yourself that know the or the severity of that particular case should know, or should be able to communicate with them clearly at that point, and ensure that necessary actions are taken. Another thing I feel that used to make, or that makes a lot of doctors scared in this situation, that oh, they don't trust me and all of that, and then like makes a lot of doctors scared in this particular situation, is that they have not accepted the fact that they are not above mistakes. Yeah, they've not accepted the fact that they are not superhumans. Yeah, a lot of people, like, so far as you're not a robot, I think even ChatGPT makes mistakes. Yeah, so far as you're not a robot, you're not immune to making mistakes. So maybe you wanted to write something and you wrote something else, or I know that you'd say that is why you're a doctor and that is why you need to cross check. Fine, you go through all of those steps, but still, you still make one or two mistakes. Definitely, yeah, you still make one or two mistakes. Accept the fact that you're not superhuman. Accept the fact that you can make those mistakes, and whenever um those things are brought to your attention, don't feel like you knew all and all. Accept those mistakes and move on. You're not God on earth that would be all perfect and all of that, but as much as it depends on you, try not to make mistakes, because a patient's life is dependent on you. So most importantly, yeah, what I did for myself at this my new place of work is to is to learn to build quiet competence. You are the doctor in that environment. The lives of these patients are literally placed in your care. Forget the whole nurses are also liable and all of that. Trust me, if push comes to shove, the person they are going to ask for is the doctor. Who is this doctor in this part? Who is this doctor that managed this case? So yes, it is you. So you don't need to struggle to show yourself. You don't need to struggle to assert your authority. You don't need to struggle to be seen or struggle to show that you know it all. Those things are not necessary. You need to learn to build quiet competence. And how do you build competence? Is by consistently delivering good care to your patients. Consistently. Yeah, so a patient comes, the way you manage the patient and all of that, it shows. People see these things, your nurses see these things, your colleagues see these things, and they are not blind to it. They know that, okay, he did well. In their mind, they'll be saying, he did well in managing this patient. I didn't know he knew this and all of that. And with time, you would see that you've won their trust and you've won their respect. So you don't need to argue things with them. You just simply state your case and move on. Whenever a patient's care is on the line and you feel like things are, should I say, or they are having second thoughts about things and all of that, and you're sure of the line of management of this particular patient, go ahead and assert your authority. Reinstate, or how will I put it, in for want of English word there, should say or state how clearly you want these things to be done. Yeah, and trust me, with time you get to win their confidence and all of that. So, whether you're a doctor, a new doctor in a new environment, or you are just newly inducted and you're about to go for your housemanship, or yeah, you just find yourself in a very strange place and you're scared and all of that, there's no need to fret. No need to fret. Just take deep breaths. Take deep breaths. Yeah, and yeah, you'll be all right. You'll be good. Just follow these few steps that we've outlined in this video and you'll be all right. So I think that will be all for this video. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, I know a lot of you watching this video yet to be subscribed to this channel. Do well to subscribe, and I'm sure you're not going to regret it. I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Peace.